fries with all salt on them.
Oh, you take the fries and you dip them in a nice chocolate shake. Oh, that's good. KB2 UKA.
All that stuff. You know, they always say this stuff is no good for you. Now, tomorrow's Saturday. I go to the pizza place. I spend $54 there. Doug?
And not a
I
penny
get a
more.
whole large pizza. Always got good pizza there. Then I get a couple slices with sauteed onions separately. Then I get 3 slices of Sicilian. And then 1 slice Italian hot dog. And then I get a big, large Italian sub. Oh, mother mia. I feel happy.
All the flour's been adulterated, Richie. They're all GMO crops now. They spray glyphosate on them. You want to eat that shit?
Yeah, but you know what? I always been, I don't know, and it's bad, sure. I'm sure everything I eat is bad for me, but I can't stop. You know, I did it my whole life.
Good to hear you, Mike. KB2 UKA, Richie. Good to hear you in the other station. I know you. I just can't remember your name. I'm sorry.
Is it Kenny?
Kenny, that's it. What's up, Kenny?
Teresa Hines. She told the chef, if you bring me some Heinz ketchup, if I get caught eating this, I'm Teresa Hines.
What's up, Kenny? Sounding good on Long Island.
Close to the dirt. In other words, your vegetables have to have dirt on them. Your eggs have to have chicken shit on them, and then you're in good shape.
Check.
I don't want this shit.
And now look at this guy.
Go ahead, kid.
Best thing you could do is have a nice garden.
You got a garden over there, Mike?
There's a bear shit in the woods.
Ooh, you got a lot of tomatoes, lettuce?
Oh,
Tomatoes, tomatoes, summer squash, zucchini, peas. I mean, Richie, come on. It's free.
Damn, Mike, that's pretty good. And I heard Richie in there.
Oh, so this is where all the Top Gun stations are hanging out these days.
Me, Top Gun, I'm the goofy guy. I'm the old guy.
What's up, Richie?
Yeah, they're all trying to kill us.
What's up, Doug, Richie, Mike? Greetings, salutations from Casey Tuesday. You are.
What's up, Rich?
Richie, I got off the radio when you got off, and I'm back on the radio when you're back on. Look at that timing.
Yeah, but I was getting off before. I'm still out here. By 7:30, I got to be in there because I got to get the dog out. I'll stay out a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
then got to get the dog out. Then Fortune. Got to watch that. What is it? Ryan Seacrest.
Seacrest.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, I had to do a wait tonight, so
put some holes in that TV.
I'm going back to work now, but I didn't go in. I had to get ready. I did the wake. One of the guys from the motorcycle club passed away, old man Snaps, and I seen him at the funeral a month ago at the president's funeral, Animal's funeral, and so he wasn't looking too good. Stage 5 throat cancer and lung cancer. So he passed, when was it, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And they were with him, the club was with him over the weekend, Saturday, and they said he was fine, walking around. And that's true. Same thing happened with my dad. A couple days before he passed, he was fine. All of a sudden, it's like a light switch, and you there's nothing wrong with you, and then that's it. Then you know it's time.
Just real quick.
Yeah, the almighty
really,
calls
I would
you,
think
Rich. You
somebody
don't have
had
a
something
choice.
like that with cancer. It's slowly getting worse, and there it gets towards the end. But you say a couple days before he was walking around. That's crazy.
Walking around.
I had an aunt.
In fact, he
They
had a
told
few
her she had
shots.
3
Maybe
months
that
to
get him
live.
in, but
She told them to take their poison burn crap and shove it up their ass.
Laughing, it was his last hurrah. But the body does that. My dad, the same thing. 2 days before he passed, my stepmom said he was fine, normal. They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that would be hard, like to see that. Figuring, wait a minute, he was just walking around smiling the other day, and that quick, like to go.
And let's hope everybody goes that quick.
Yeah, that might be a good thing, 'cause you don't want to be in the hospital and with pain and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know.
If you're in a hospital, say, they give you a lot of heavy drugs, don't they, for the pain?
Oh yeah, or hospice. They've got you on so much morphine. That's what pretty much, when you're on hospice, it's the morphine that does you in the end.
Everything. They set up the morphine if you need it, and that's how they do it. So my dad, he came home. We knew it was the end. He came home, hospice care, and we administered the morphine at the end. But 2 days before that, while he was home, he was normal.
How old was he, Rich?
74.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your dad, 74. And nowadays that's really not old, because a lot of this generation seems to be going even the 80s and 90s.
We got one guy
What
having
they
a
do
birthday
is
party
they bill
for
the hell
at
out of
VFW,
Medicare. They
Mr.
sign you
Laundry.
up for every procedure in the book.
He's a veteran. He's
That's the
100
God's
years
honest
old.
truth.
What's up, Mark?
The medicine today in America is a corporate thing.
He didn't know he had it until it was pretty much too late. When they thought it was gallstones, Rich, he got jaundice. He had a bile blockage from some stones. They relieved that, so they thought there were more stones, but that wasn't it. It was cancer of the gallbladder, spread to the liver and the kidney. Had he would have known, years earlier, they could have cut that out, and he would be here today. But he didn't know because it was a last-minute diagnosis. He didn't, he's like me. We don't go running to the hospital every time we're sick or something. We avoid that. But that's a bad thing. So the best thing to do is go for your routine checkup, and especially if you're a younger guy. If you're a younger guy, you got young kids, family, you got responsibilities, I would say it's best to go for all the examinations and, make sure that there's nothing there. But if something was to happen or arise or show
You
up,
guys are hearing my
they can
family walking
remove it,
upstairs.
treat it
All the
at an
bases, Mike
earlier
picks
stage,
it up.
not when it's too late. Anyway, gentlemen, have a great night. Richie, man, I was coming in the front door. I left the radio on with the speakers, and I thought one of these kids was going by with that rap music. I was hearing that boom, 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 boom. That was your voice coming through the subwoofers. I opened the door, and the whole house was filled with the richness and the pump and bass of your audio. Can you imagine? And it's not overdone, so I'm not insinuating. So it's perfect because you don't have it as a mud frequency. You added it as a sub frequency, and it was just pumping the whole house. And I was opening up the front door, I'm looking around for somebody with a car stereo. Anyway, 7-3s, Mike, Richie, Doug. Catch you guys later. I gotta run. KC2Z, you are clearing your finals.
I got to go, too, and get this dog out. But you said you heard boom, boom. Wasn't that song Black Eyed Peas? Got that boom, boom, pow. Those chickens, what do they say, Jack and my style. I sold 2,000 late. Something like that. I don't know what the hell. But, Ron gave me some settings, and then I wanted more reverb in there. And he told me where to do it, and he said it sounded good there. I left it good. I'm glad everything's working okay with this. Never back to the racks. Racks are excellent for people that know how to use them. Me, I had everything too close here, and the RF was, I think, just getting into those racks. But now with this Mo 2, it seems everything's working fine, so I'm calling it a day. But hey, guys, thanks. Good picking up with everybody. Catch you fellas tomorrow. Saturday already. Damn. 7-3 fellas from the Big Kahuna. Signing off.
Both Richies, 73. You guys have a good night. I'll catch you guys. Well, Long Island Richie, I'll catch you in the morning. And Jersey Richie, like a leaf in the wind next time.
Hey, Richie, what kind of mic is that?
It's a Shure SM7B.
Oh, okay. It really does. Sound. It's got a nice sound, nice smooth response. Okay, let me shut up. KB1 ROL standing by.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, you all sound. I mean, I got big signals. That's good. It looks like in the winter, boy, you're going to be getting some nice signals in here. And I'll say 7-3. Thanks, everybody. And Doug, let me know when you get one of those radios all fixed. I like to hear how it works and how it sounds. I'll say 7-3s and good night.
We're getting close with the 101E. Almost ready. 73.
I love that radio. I can't tell you how many I had in the past.
I got to go out dinner. N2O AM. We'll catch you all later.
I remember you used to go to Hamfest. If one was for sale, it'd be gone quick. Neat radios. And then for AM, too. 7-3.
All righty. Take care. So, Kenny, where are you? Up in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I'm in Taxatusis.
Yeah, I'm in Tax York, if you want to call it that. Just as bad.
Where you at? Where you from?
I'm on Long Island. I'm 50 miles east of Manhattan on the North Shore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to school up in New York. I went to Queensboro and Bayside, and then I went to, engineering school upstate.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know Bayside very well. KB2 UKA. Oh, God, got a frog in my throat. My family's from Woodhaven, Queens, and I used to work in Bayside. I know Bayside. Where'd you go to engineering school upstate?
I went to the University of Buffalo, and then I got my degree from Buffalo State.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I know Buffalo. And I used to hang out at, not as far as Buffalo, but Oneonta. That's a big school on Long Island. It's upstate, but a lot of people from Long Island go to Oneonta. That's a fun place, man.
Yeah, my father used to live out in Patchogue, and I used to take the Long Island Railroad out there to see him all the time.
That's funny. My my mother and my her parents, they moved from Queens to Patchogue, and they were there, I think, up until the mid-'50s, and then they moved to Huntington. What years were you there?
Oh, boy. I guess, look, I graduated from Queensboro in, I think, 1980. So thereabouts, and I used to take, the train out to see him, Long Island Railroad. Then he used to pick me up.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were long gone from Patchogue. Hold on one second. I'm just checking something out. Yeah, they were long gone. They were in Huntington already by the 80s.
Yeah, well, then, because he used to work at Grumman Aerospace, and we used to go to Farmers Market, and then we used to go to Giles Milk Farm. Can you remember that?
Nope, I don't remember it. Where was the Farmers Market, in Patchogue?
The Farmers Market was in, no, it wasn't in it was right next to Grumman Aerospace. It was Grumman Aerospace was in Bethpage, Long Island.
Yep, I know. My wife's from Farmingdale, which is right there. I know where Grumman was. But no, I that was before my time. I was born in 1980, so I'm 44.
I think it was in Manorville, near Riverhead.
Well, that's not where Grumman was.
Well, I know Grumman, and they he worked on the lunar module. They built the lunar module, the antenna system to the lunar module, and they I think they did some work with the SST because they used to have the Guppy, that big plane that they used to fly the shuttle in. It was a big plane called the Guppy.
So they had the main Grumman facility was in Bethpage, and the other station there's Grumman Memorial Park out in Calverton, which is in the area that you just mentioned. They did do things out there as well, but the main one was in Bethpage.
Yes, you're right. The airfield was out there. I was up all the way up 111 program out there from Brighton Whitney. I remember going quite a few times. But you're right, it was Calverton, not Manorville. KC1BOS.
What's it called? KC1BOS?
Kilo Charlie 1, Bravo, Oscar, Foxtrot.
Okay, Kilo Charlie 1, Bravo Oscar Foxtrot. This is Doug, KB2 UKA, Long Island, 50 miles east of Manhattan on the North Shore. Wayne, nice to meet you. I see you're in Maine, and I'm on here with Eddie. Eddie, I don't. Excuse me, Kenny. Kenny, I don't know your call. Ken's in Massachusetts. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, my call is KB1RYO. And before my father passed away, he said the lunar module, the antenna system in the lunar module, he said it's in the Smithsonian. He said it's in the Smithsonian. And eventually I went to the Smithsonian and saw it.
Yep, it is. I saw it there, too. They also did some work. They also had another facility, because I remember when they tore it down when I was a kid, near Republic Airport in Farmingdale. There was a small warehouse that Grumman had also, which would make sense to be right near the airport.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they were doing some work. I'm not sure. Because he talked about it. They were doing some work on that SST. You remember the SST?
That was a plane, I assume?
Yeah, it was this supersonic plane that went so fast, but it made too much noise, and the neighbors started complaining. I guess you could be in Europe in a couple of hours.
Yep, I'm looking it up right now. Well, I go past Republic Airport all the time. Like, every couple of weeks we go to my in-laws, and they're right over there. They're right near the airport. And I actually took a couple of flying lessons out of Republic. And they've got a museum in there with all the photos and all the old Grumman stuff. It's really interesting what they did.
Yeah, well, see, if I'm not mistaken, you could hear the boom. Once, I guess you go past the speed of sound or something, there's a sonic boom. And, the residents there in Long Island didn't particularly care for it.
Let me tell you guys something. Let me see if I have it. So about 3 days ago, 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to pick my daughter up, and it was cold that night. So I go into the den, and I put the heat up a little bit. My wife's sitting in there, and it's still daylight out. And, when the heat comes up, we have baseboard radiators, so it clicks a little bit. But she calls me in there. She's like, the heat's making a weird noise. And I go, yeah, I hear that. The whole damn house is rumbling. I'm like, but that's not the oil burner. That's not the burner. I go near the window. I go, it sounds like a plane. That's a plane flying over the house. So I go get my car keys. I get my sweatshirt. I go outside. I still hear this, okay? And it sounds like a 747 flying right over my house. And I live in a wooded area, and I have a good view to the sky, and I see nothing. And the sound lasts about 5 minutes. So, normally when a plane flies over, the sound moves with the plane, even if you can't see it. This was right on top of the house. It finally goes away, and my alarm system is, for the house, I use the Ring alarm system. So on the app, they have something called Ring Neighborhood, which is, you hear a house is on fire, you hear sirens, you hear a loud noise. All the housewives post crap on this Ring Neighborhood app. So I'm at work the next day, and about 10 o'clock in the morning, somebody posted, anyone hear that weird sound in the sky at 6 o'clock yesterday that sounded like a plane? Long story short, the consensus was that it was something stealth that flew over Long Island. And what do you know? B-52s were used in Lebanon the next day. I'm wondering if these damn B-52s left from the Northeast to go to Lebanon.
Yeah, well, because a lot of people say, oh, yeah, they saw a flying saucer. That wasn't a flying saucer. There's a lot of stealth technology. There's a lot of stuff out there, that the government has.
Oh, yeah, but with this case, though, no, we didn't see anything. I didn't see a damn thing. I looked for an airplane because it was very, very loud, but I saw nothing. But I heard it, and the whole damn neighborhood heard it. And it made it onto a security alarm app the next day. So I'm wondering if these B-52s took off from over here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think listen, I've never heard of sonic boom before, but I don't think you could see it. I think the plane is up so high and until you can't see it, but you can hear that boom.
Yeah, well, it lasted a long time. I would think a sonic boom, and I might have heard it before at one of the air shows, but I would think a sonic boom wouldn't last 3 to 5 minutes. I could be wrong, though. I think there was a contact in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this KC-1BOF, Wayne again in Wells, Maine. I think also during that trip over there, they used the B-2, which was the stealth bomber, not the B-1. Well, B-1 is stealth too, but the B-2 is the one that's like the flying wing that they had. I think it was the YD-45 or something, YD-42 or something when we were kids. But they did use the B-2, which is basically a flying wing that looks like a lot of trapezoidal surfaces on it. And it's highly likely they would use that at night, so you could not see that. If it was a B-52, you would have known about it. It goes much slower, but it could be. Of course, I didn't hear it, and I don't know, but I understand that the B-2 was used to do that mission.
Yeah, Roger, KB2 UKA for ID, and that's what I meant. I misspoke. Not a B-52. I meant the B-2, the flying wing. Well, if it kind of makes more sense then, right? That maybe it left the northeast of the United States at 6 o'clock in the evening with the sun still up, and by the time it went and did its mission, or whenever it got there, it was already dark. It was dark there.
Was it dark where you were that you couldn't see it?
No, it was 6 o'clock. Sun was, obviously it's later in the fall. The sun was still up though. The sky was still blue. Couldn't see a damn thing.
Okay, well, I guess it's probably a B-2, but who knows? KCOS.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, which we would never know. Oh, and also on that Ring app, people went on the flight tracking website when I had to leave to go get my daughter, so I just got in my car and left. But people that stayed home went on a flight tracking. There were no planes over the area, which is saying more and more it was probably something military, whether or not it was a B-2 or not.
Well, normally in a military mission, they do not use a transponder on those aircraft, so you can't keep touch of them unless they're a transport or something. But if they're a bomber or a fighter, you probably won't see anything because they don't turn the transponder on until they want to. It's up to pilot selection.
Oh, yeah. Putting the transponder on would kind of defeat the purpose, but it was very interesting. I'm wondering if there's any military airfields up here. There's got to be, right? Between me and you in Maine, there's got to be.
Well, I've seen a lot of C-5As and C-17s and KC-46s, which is a tanker, land at Portsmouth, Pease. I think that's Pease. I call it Portsmouth. But there's a lot of military activity come out there, and I've seen actually some funny aircraft coming in at no name. You can see this on the transponder information on Radar 24 on your internet. I have it on my cell phone. So, but there is a lot of military aircraft touching down there because they're refueling after they come from Europe or Somali area. Or if they're heading that way, they touch up a lot of C-5Ms, a lot of C-17s, and other aircraft like that.
Ah, very cool stuff. Very cool. So, Wayne, you're 20 over down here, sounding good. What are you running?
I got you about 30 over here up in Wells, Maine.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm on an 80-meter doublet. It's up about 75 or 80 feet, somewhere around there. And it's fed with ladder line, comes straight down, 600 ohm. And then the ladder line terminates into a remote outdoor legal limit tuner. So I'm tuning outside. And then coax into the shack. I'm running legal limit with an Australian amp called a VK amp. And the transceiver is an Apache Labs Anon 7000.
Well, I got a correction there. You're 100 over up here. Well, as a matter of fact, my antenna just melted. No, I'm only kidding, but you're really putting out up here. I'm running 100 watts on a dedicated 75-meter antenna, a doublet.
Yep, well, you're doing solid 20 over with your 100 watts. Ken, how are you copying me?
Oh, you're 20 plus, and listen, I don't have no preamps on or nothing. That's just a straight rig, and you're about the strongest thing on the frequency right now. And it's got nice audio too, so that thing is definitely putting out. This is an old amplifier that I'm running that I restored myself with. This is an old MLA 2500 that I rebuilt the power supply on. Over.
Oh, well, you're 30 over. You're solid 30 over. And I'm in the process right now of teaching myself how to work on this stuff. You said you went to school for engineering. I did not. I have no technical knowledge pretty much whatsoever. So what I did, Ken, I enrolled in an online electrical engineering and PC board design crash course. It's not a college course. It's 100 hours of lecture, video lecture, and hands-on training. And I got a bench set up in here now. I just taught myself how to use an oscilloscope last week, so I'm about to get this Yaesu 101E back on the air. I got it for $90 on eBay. The receive arrived dead on arrival. I got the receive working. That took about 3 weeks. Got the receive. It's fully up and running. And I had a little issue with getting AC, 4 volts AC out of the antenna port for some reason. And I only noticed it because of the oscilloscope. And then I tested it and saw that there was 4 volts AC, and it was a grounding issue, and I fixed that. So now, luckily, I don't have AC coming out of the antenna port. And now I just, I got to neutralize the tubes and go through an alignment, and I should be good.
Yeah, well, you know what? Look, I don't even know what, these kids know more about computers and cell phones than I do. But the only advantage to going to school for engineering was, you get trained in digital, you get trained in RF, you get trained in mechanical engineering, you get trained in a lot of different things. Well, see, I was fool around with CB and stuff, so I was a radio freak all my life. So, but when I graduated from school, I couldn't get a job in the radio field. So what I did was I started working on Wall Street with computers. So, and then, after that, I got laid off from that. Then I wound up working in physics with, working with spectrophysics lasers, working with lasers. So a degree trains you in a lot of different disciplines. This is KB1 RYO. Over.
What was your field of endeavor in engineering? What kind of engineering?
Electrical.
Oh, boy, that's fantastic. Good for you. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, look, and then when I was working with, spectrophysics laser, I was working as an RF tech, and then so the manager comes in, he said, okay, today you're going over to high voltage. So I'm glad that I trained in all those different aspects, because I could have got killed in that high voltage lab.
That's true.
Unbelievable. It's funny that you mentioned Wall Street. Well, that's what I do. I own a financial advisory and planning firm locally here. But all these big Wall Street firms in the city, they were buying up buildings all around the exchange to run fiber from their trading platform to the exchange, because nanoseconds make a difference with the size of the blocks of stock that they're buying. Now, and this was actually, I've been reading about this for the last year and a half, 2 years. They're buying up spectrum some of it close to our operating frequencies. And instead of running fiber, the radio transmission is faster than the fiber, and they're doing trading via radio.
Oh, yeah. You can transfer more data over the radio. Yeah, right. Yeah, because it was very interesting. Listen, I didn't even know what the Federal Reserve Bank was, and then that was one of my accounts. And then I used to work for Home Life Insurance right across the street from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And, by accident, I didn't even know. They said, Mr. Smith's computer is down. And I went up in the executive elevator, and I didn't even know what the executive elevator was.
I used to work right there, right at 1 Chase Manhattan Plaza, the Chase building, across the street from the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, that was the good old days. So my first day on the job, I got ink all. My boss was jealous of Mr. Smith. He was vice president of Home Life Insurance. So they send me your best engineer up
Hello,
here.
Christian.
And boy, did I make a mess. It was my first day on the job. And so I went back there. Let me show you what class is. I went back there. He said, Mr. Smith said, send your that engineer up here. The best guy you got. He did a wonderful job. I went up there to his office, and he had all new decor up there.
Oh yeah, those executive offices. When was that? In the mid to late '80s? They were spending a lot of money.
Yeah, it was. He had a chariot in the hallway, and I mean, it was like I said, I didn't even know I was riding up in the executive elevator, and all these people were looking at me. Now I know why.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, I just very curious. Somebody just mentioned that you can send more information on a radio and fiber optics. Could you elaborate that on a little bit?
Well, that might be your department, Ken. But what I know from my reading, Wayne, is that it might not even be the amount of data that they can send. It's the speed of transmission that the high frequency traders are interested in, and the radio transmission is faster than the fiber optic.
The data rate, how many ones and zeros you can send down the line. The baud rate is what we're talking about. The speed that you can send the data down, because you don't see when if you look at water, okay. And you take a pencil, and stick it in water.
See, guys, this is an old school engineer. These are the smartest guys.
It bends. That's called refraction. And it bends because the speed of light travels slower in water than it does in air. So you notice a difference. So, but when you travel through air, you don't get that refraction.
And there you go. So you're going to have refraction in the fiber, but not exist. Well, there'll still be refraction through our atmosphere, but it'll be much less than what's in the cable.
So basically, the waves are traveling at a faster rate in the air than they are through the fiber optic cable. Is that correct?
Exactly. The light is traveling much faster in air than it is in water, and because the speed of light travels different in water, you see the pencil looks like it's bent. That's called refraction.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I just never correlated that. That's very interesting. I appreciate you telling me that. Something I learned tonight. I mean, I never thought about it, but it makes sense to me because of the refraction process. That's good. Good to know. Thank you.
So about a year ago, maybe 10 months to a year ago, I don't know if either of you recall, they changed, the FCC changed the transmit bandwidth rules, not with sideband, but with digital. I think they actually took the limitation away. And if I remember correctly, and it was a pretty big deal. There was a big comment period, and it was for our hobby as well. But during that time, that's what there's a couple of companies that are buying up the bandwidth, and that change of the rule was to accommodate really them for commercial reasons.
So that means it traveled faster if they widened it, but they didn't get as much going through it, though, right?
Or not as powerful, right? So even with me, I'm transmitting a 4 kilohertz audio bandwidth right now, which I should just go to 3K because I don't think you guys are listening to me at 4. Actually, I'll do that right now. We just click this, boom. Now I'm at 3K, and now I click that, boom. That's my 3K profile. So now I'm at 3K like the two of you. So when I just went from 4 to 3, my average power increased on my amplifier. Not much, because, this is solid state amp, but it probably increased. I was doing about 1,400. Now I'm doing about 1,495. So I got about another 95 watts by losing a kilohertz of bandwidth. So yeah, the narrower the bandpass, the more relative powers in that bandpass. But the wider the bandpass, the more data you can put through it.
Yeah, that's interesting. It makes sense. It makes sense. I appreciate you telling me that.
So when I changed to 3K, my audio should have changed to you guys a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, well, that brings the next question. They say I was listening to a guy at the club meeting. He's one of those ARL section leaders or whatever, president or something. But anyway, he was saying the average age of a ham now is 70 years old. If it gets any older, they're going to start taking these frequencies away.
That's not good.
Well, yeah, that's the fear, right? I'm 44. I'm the youngest person I know. Okay, I know a couple of guys that are right around my age, but for the most part, I'm going to be 50 in 6 years, and I'm the youngest person that I know on the radio, and I'm on the radio every day, whether it's 10 minutes or 2 hours. I get on almost every day unless I'm traveling. Yeah. So however, though, Ken, there's the most licensees now in the USA than the last 20 years. So it peaked. I don't know what year it peaked. When do you think it peaked, Ham Radio? Early 80s? Maybe that was the peak. Maybe late 80s. I was 12. In 92. I got licensed. So I was 12. I'm 44. So I've been doing this 32 years. The licensing is on an incline. The problem, and it really spiked in 2020. I think there's like 800,000 licensees now in the U.S. The problem is, any of the younger people, like in their 20s, that are doing this, they all went and got the tech license. And they didn't actually get involved in the daily operating of being in the hobby. And they didn't, they didn't get the bug of making a contact in Australia and, okay, let me go upgrade to general. They did it more as like a makers thing, like these makers guys in the computer, because if you're a tech, you could do a lot of microwave stuff and all that. So they're not daily operators. So all those people that got licensed in 2020, I bet a big percentage of them are going to lapse.
Yeah, wow, yeah. I mean, you just listen to some of these conversations on 80 meters, and and it don't. People are saying, oh, Trump, and then they talk about Kamala Harris. But look, Trump is at the end of his line. He'll be the oldest president in history.
Yeah, well, I didn't know we were going that direction, but I'd rather have somebody who's going to be a constitutionalist. So I'll take the old man for now. But I didn't know we were going that direction. But the point is, I have tried in my life. I have tried to convert people into getting licensed. I have never been successful. I can't get my wife to do it. My daughter, who's 11, she wants to do it, but she's so jam-packed with all the her extracurricular activities that I don't. As for today, she's not going to go. If I gave her the tech book, she could get the license in 2 weeks. I know she could, like I did when I was a kid. But think about it. In your life, how many people, and you too, Wayne, how many people became a ham radio operator because of you?
Yeah, listen. I bet
I hear you, Norm.
phone in her pocketbook.
Wait, what'd you say?
I bet you she got her cell phone and social media and all that stuff that the young people do.
Oh, she's got all of it. KB2 UK for ID. She's got all of it. And my son, who's only a year younger than her, he's 10. I built a computer with him. He does all this computer gaming. He wants nothing. He doesn't think this is cool at all. I live stream on YouTube. I've got all the high-end SDR radios. It's all run by the computer. He doesn't give a crap. My daughter is interested. If she walked in here right now, I'd hand her the headphones. She knows how to key the radio. She'd sit here and talk with you guys. She knows when to give the call sign. She knows all of that. I'm saying she would love to do it. So maybe she'll do it a little bit later in life. Maybe in high school or something. Right now, she's jammed up. Norm, good to hear you. Go ahead.
KB2 UK, AC3GD. You touched on a subject, and I had looked at the roles, the licensed amateur radio operators, and they publish them and they update them. Are you aware that the 10-year license actually hides? What it does, I don't want to say it hides, it smooths out the drop-offs. Most of the people that I talk to on 75 meters and CW down in the lower portion of 80 meters, they're all in their 70s plus. They're getting long in the tooth. And when that generation goes, you're going to see the total licensed amateur radio operator number plummet. But you have to wait for their 10-year period to go up. AC3GD.
Oh, I 100% agree with you, Norm. I 100% agree with you. I believe if we want this hobby to continue, okay, and all those people that you just mentioned, that average age that Ken mentioned, that you just mentioned, that, high 60s, mid 70s age, okay, a lot of the old timers will be 100% against what I'm about to say, but I think they should do two things. They should lighten the requirement to get on HF, okay? Nowadays, look, I'm like, what did I say? If you've been listening, Norm, I'm 44. I'm I think I'm the youngest person I know on 80 and 40 meters that I talk to on a daily basis. There's a couple of other guys. Frank's my age. He's a couple of years older than me. Danny in Canada, he's my age. But for the most part, we're the babies in the hobby, okay? I think they should make it easier to get on HF, make the test easier, but then they have to also increase enforcement because you don't want it to be a free-for-all. And I know that's what the old-timers are worried about. But if you could tell me that, I need to take a 20-question exam on making sure I'm not going to electrocute myself or burn myself with RF and not interfere and have a dirty signal, okay? And boom, here's my ticket I could get on 80 meters or 40 meters. I think it would do wonders for the hobby.
Comment?
Well, they do have a gateway to HF, and it's called 10 meters. But you know what? You can't keep making it easier and easier because you're going to get people. All you got to do is listen to 7200, and I don't want to pick on those guys, but they have devolved into Citizens Band Class D operators. That's all you got to do is listen to them. And I'm not saying everybody's going to be like that, and I'm not saying if you make it easy. But the more people you get on, I think there's a good idea. I think exposure, I think you're spot on in getting more people on. But start doing it in high school, in grammar school. Start having a classroom on. They have different electives. I went to a high school where I took up electronics, and it wasn't even a trade school, but it was an elective, an auxiliary elective that I really enjoyed. That's what they should do, really. Now, if you look at the way the schooling is, they don't teach your kids to hunt. They don't teach your kids to fish.
He's right.
They don't
He's
teach
right.
the kids nothing. And you got to look back at education. Education. What are you teaching these kids? You can't lead a horse to water and make it drink. If these kids don't know what amateur radio is, if they don't know the positive and negative anode of a battery, they're not going to get interested in this stuff. Really, in my opinion, and I'm not against you. I am actually in agreement with you, but I don't want to see them dumbing it down anymore. I really don't. I want to see people progress and rise above the water is what I want to see, because that's where you're going to get your advancement in the art of radio. Well, enough of my diatribe. AC free, GD.
Yeah, this is KB1, RYO.
And I know, Wayne, you've been trying to get in there. You don't need to say comment. You're in the round table, my friend. You just jump in. I agree with you, Norm, and that's why I said easier access to the hobby with enforcement. And the only thing I'll disagree with you about, I think 7,200 is worse than 11 meters. And by the way, do a search on YouTube for 11 meet for CB. That is in a boom right now, okay? CB radio is in a boom. There are more YouTube pages about CB than there is about amateur radio. More guys working on equipment. It's very, very interesting. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yes, thank you very much. This is Wayne, KC1BOF. Got to run, guys. I just want to extend a thank you very, very much. I really did. I haven't talked to you. I listened quite a bit, but I really did enjoy the conversation. I had a learning experience tonight from both you guys. I'm very, very envious of the electrical engineer out there. Personally, I'm an aerospace engineer. I graduated from Boston University with aerospace engineering. Problem with that is I know I never got involved in electronics, so I take my hat off to that electrical engineer. Anyway, thanks a lot. And by the way, the station out there, I believe in the old man that follows the Constitution too. So anyway, you have a great night, and thank you so much for putting up with me, if you will, and enjoy the evening. And I think I'll tune in more often from now on. I listen quite a bit to you guys because I learn a lot from you, and to me, that's what the important thing is. You have a good night. 73 to all of you, and take care of yourselves. KC1BOF, off and clear. 73.
All right, Wayne, it was a pleasure. And if you want to hear how you sound, put my call sign into the search box of YouTube. Kilo Bravo 2 Uniform Kilowatt America. I've been streaming this whole time, so you can even when I shut it off, it'll always be up there. You'll be able to hear and see your signal report. 7-3.
Now, would you give me that call sign one more time?
Yep, my call is Kilowatt Bravo number 2 United kilowatt alpha.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks once again. I really have enjoyed listening to you guys. Thank you. Have a great night. 73.
Yeah, this is KB1 ROL.
Yeah, but you're right, Ken. Kenny. You're right. And then Norm. The other alternative is right because you said you don't want to dumb it down, and I don't want to dumb it down either. But if you think about the person who thinks radio's cool and would enjoy sitting in this round table with us right now, but then realizes they got to study for friggin' 3 months. If we don't make the entry point easier, and I know you could do the no-code tech. I did the no-code tech in 1992, or whatever year it was. And unless you're doing it today, you're not going to have fun on HF because starting today, 11 years from now, it's going to be the solar minimum. We're at the maximum. So you got a few years of good propagation. But if we don't let people in easier, there's going to eventually be no one to talk to.
Comment.
Go.
See, look, bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm trying to make a point. I'm not getting political or nothing like that. I'm trying to make a point. Okay?
He is a lefty.
To do with the leadership.
Yeah, I figured that.
Of these people that's running the club, these people that's in the ARRL. Okay? Look, when you turn around and all these people that are running things with ham radio are old. I'm just saying, give up the power to younger people. The Kamala Harrises, the Ron DeSantis, and there's this guy, J.D. Vance. These are younger minds instead of a dinosaur, 77, 80-year-old man. I'm just trying to make a point. Try to understand my point.
I do, Ken. Hold on. I do understand it. And I agree. Young and new thinking is good. But in government, in our government, I just watched this whole video tonight on Aristotle's definition of tyranny. And but I'm not going to get into that. But the problem with the ARRL isn't necessarily who's being elected there. The problem with the ARRL is that they are bureaucrats. Okay, so you would have to get, maybe I'll run for an ARRL position, but I would be anti-bureaucratic, and then that would mean, so the ARRL tries to run like they're this quasi-government association. Okay, they're not, and they never petition. I'll give you a perfect example. Nothing in any of the FCC rules prevents anybody from doing 4 or 6 kilohertz audio on ham radio, as long as you're not interfering. Okay, nothing prevents it. When a bunch of old cranky men got pissed off in the early 2000s that guys were doing ESSB and Voodoo down on 3615 and 3630, where nobody is anyway, instead of the ARRL backing its members that are experimenting, they petitioned the FCC to change the rule to not allow that. That's bureaucratic. All right? And luckily, I guess this must have been during a Republican administration, the FCC told them to go kick dirt and said that there's no limit to the bandwidth. You do need fresh blood, but you need fresh blood that's not bureaucratic and that is not that believes what's good for the individual is good for the group, not what's good for the group is good for the individual. So yes, I half agree with you.
Yeah, well, anything In other words, I'm saying let's hear from these younger people. Look, you can't live forever, and so these young people, the younger minds, they're the young. Listen, I'm not gonna fight for the country. I'm 65 years old plus. These younger people are gonna fight for the country. So I'm saying, look, let's not hold on to power. Let them give up their office to people like you, the younger people, the younger generation. And when you give it up to the younger generation, you start to get more people into the hobby. I can't turn around and have too much in common with these younger people, but you have in common with the younger people, can attract younger people and stuff like that. And so now they're locked with the leadership is like a whole bunch of dinosaurs. I'm probably getting myself in trouble.
No, you're fine. And this is a good conversation, and I want to continue it, but I just got a text that I got to go feed the dogs. They're barking and annoying the wife. So, Kenny, I got to hop. Norm, I got to hop. It was a great QSO. Hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and maybe we could put our heads together and get this hobby rocking and rolling. KB2, UK clear, 7-3.
Hey, 7-3 there, 7-3, Kenny. I don't mind younger people as long as they're traditionalists, because we don't need change in this country. We need to fix what's broken. AC3 GDMQSY. Great conversation, fellas. I'll catch you again.
Well, listen, I'm limited. Look, that's everything I said.
All right, good. It was a good QSO, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. 73.